show. Miss Beth, how are we doing?
Fantastic. I'm really excited about the rest of the episodes that are about to come out and for everybody to see them.
I am too. Oh my gosh. So I was talking to Christian and he was
Mhm.
talking about how the Leverage fan base has learned how to like kind of ration the episodes in this era of streaming. And
Uh-huh. That's a
it's
funny
like
way of putting
there's so
it.
much good stuff to like, have to
Yeah.
parse it out. But this, we're getting it in chunks, which is nice.
Yeah.
And you have an episode coming out on May 15th that I got to see and is delightful. And I really am charmed by all of it. Now, as a director, do you get cheeseburgers at any point?
Well, hey, good. I'm so glad you love it as much as I do. It is a charming episode. It's like such a
Yeah.
classic Leverage episode, isn't it? It's so beautiful. We shot, normally we're on stage for, 4 days or 5 or 6 days actually, and two out on location. On this one, we were 6 days on location
Oh, cool.
and two on stage, which means we had all these new beautiful locations to find and light. And that was really exciting, actually, just to create the look of the episode, to feel like we're somewhere else in the small town, right? So I thought our production designer, Randall Groves, and our DP, Dave Connell, just crushed it. But yeah, it was so fun. What was the question you asked me? I just realized. How much of a say do I have in it? What would you ask me?
Oh, as you do get cheeseburgers as director.
And I didn't even go to that answer. Yes, I mean, I guess I could. You know what's really funny? I actually put that in when they get in the tow truck. I was like, she's still hungry. She needs like snacks and she's hungry. But yeah, I can get a cheeseburger if I really want one at any point in time. Thank God. Because I
Oh,
got
I'm so happy you got to add that because it makes sense. It does. I also wanted to ask because, like, I guess talking about like the sort of scene setting and the ways that you got to make this little small town kind of feel lived in, kind of feel like
yeah.
real in certain sort of ways. Um, so the interiors.
Hmm.
Do you have to just generate this? Because we spent a lot of time in the cafe, we spent a lot of time in the bed and breakfast. It's lit so beautiful that if you've been around Savannah or anywhere near the Delta, I'm like,
Yeah.
I swear I've sat in this booth before.
Isn't it so amazing? So we had the task of finding one location where, every time you have to move your base camp, which is where all your trailers are for the actors and the wardrobe trucks and the hair and makeup trucks and production trailers, it
Mhm.
takes a lot of time and money to move that stuff, right? So the ideal thing is like, let's find a spot to park everything and then we can do quick van rides to this town. Well, we really had one option, which is the option we were able to go with. Thank goodness. But it was like, okay, we can build, the bank was actually a wedding venue and it just happened to have a vault in it. Like, really wild. I'm not even joking you. We were like, wait, what is happening? And the nicest guy owns it. And so we went in and we're like, we could turn this into a bank. And so our production designer built all the, teller booths and the little stands where you sign your check and all that. I mean, it's just movie magic, right? And then on that day in particular, speaking about the lighting, we got tornado warnings and shutdowns, right? So we lost all of our daylight and we had to wait and wait and wait. And I think I lost like 5 hours waiting for tornado winds to stop and pass. And by the time they stopped, it was dark outside. And so our daytime scene that we'd shot half of, okay, now we have to light through these windows. Well, do we have condors? What can we pull in right now? What do we do? And it was really a wild ride, but we pulled it off and you'd never know it wasn't daylight when we shot the rest of the scene, right? But that's the magic of Dave Connell and his entire team. They can just make it look however you need to look. I mean, and then the scene in the Airbnb or the bed and breakfast, was so beautiful. That was like a little house just down at the other end of the street that we found that was so perfect and magical and had all these great windows. And so the way I work with Dave is I'll show him photos of the location and say, okay, I'm blocking and figuring out the shots. Which direction are we going to be looking? This is the time of day we're going to be shooting. And he'll say, I prefer to shoot mostly that direction, right? On a little drawing. And so then I know when I get in there, I've blocked it all to face the direction for the best light to make Gina look like she's wrapped in this glorious, warm, morning light. And he just knows. He's like, no, I don't want to shoot in that corner now. I want to do this because it's good. And I'm like, yes, yes, yes. So it's really fun to work with him in that way. But yeah, the light, and it looked like a film to me. I mean,
Yeah.
all that golden hour light that we were able to capture, Jack's fixing his truck and Sophie's walking up. I mean, she looks like a vision. It was just like, I'm cheering, just for all the behind the monitor, like the technical reasons I get. Cause I started as a photographer. So anytime you catch that beautiful light or a flare, I'm like, leave it in. Like, I love it so much. But the performances also were just, so nuanced and so beautiful and real.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, one of the true joys of like Leverage Redemption in its entirety is that you guys have been together for so long that there's like
Yeah,
a real lived in, like family like quality to
totally.
watching you guys get into scrapes. Although we don't have all of you together for most of this one, which is like interesting too, because I'm like, okay, so we got Parker, Elliot, Sophie, and like Elise kind of running, like Brianna running, like sort of
Mhm,
support from back at home base.
mhm.
But paring it down to like just really the three of you in this town on the ground and then the townsfolk
Mhm.
really gives it a kind of fun, like whippy sort of thing. And poor Christian just sitting there having to act grumpy, just
Yeah,
acted grumpy the entire time.
just a grumpy Elliot. Yep.
And I love too. I feel like a thing with the entire season is that there's always these really cool, like extended, like shots that you guys do where you're tracking a lot of movement, and I that runs throughout the series. But I really took notice of it this season. Can you
Oh,
talk
awesome.
about the choice where to have Elliot hit somebody with a trike?
Yes, I'll tell you exactly where the inspiration came from. So I read that fight and I was like, hang on a second. We've got motorcycles, we've got BMX bikes, we've got all this stuff happening. How amazing would it be to do a long tracking shot of this fight? And we've never done that before. And a lot of the reason is because it's exhausting for those stunt performers and Christian. And, um, you need movie magic sometimes you can't reveal the hits in a certain way, right? You have to shoot it a certain way. So I was really inspired by the South Korean film Old Boy, and there's
Oh yeah.
called the corridor shot in that, right? It's famous, everybody knows it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I'm going to pay homage to the corridor shot. So basically, that's what we did, and then we incorporated different elements. But my goal was to do as much of it after we set up the wham, the trike shot or the BMX shot, boom. Then I wanted to track just all through this fight. Like he's just barreling, pushing through all these guys and bikes. And I thought it was so badass and fucking pulled it off. And it was just so great and exciting that we were cheering and so happy. We haven't done anything quite like that for the fights before. So it was really exciting. And I mean, I got such a kick out of it. It was so fun.
I love that. And I also love the blocking of near the end when the bikers like converge on the diner and they're gonna burn everything down. The way
Yeah.
that you blocked it out with the entire town kind of riding up and coming to the aid and like defending themselves. Can you talk a
Mhm.
little bit about blocking that out? Because I really liked how it like looked.
Yeah, Al, thank you. Absolutely. It was really challenging again that there was a day, the biggest day with the fire engine and all the standoff and
Mhm.
I actually spoke to a very wise mentor friend of mine named Alan Coulter. He shot Sopranos and Boardwalk Empire,
Ooh.
and he had a similar scene where there was a big standoff, lots of extras, lots of cars, and I kind of walked him through my plan. He's like, "Yep, that's going to be great." And I had all my storyboards and all the stuff, and we laid it all out. And then found out when we got there that something happened with our night permit, so we were going to be losing hours of the day.
Oh, no.
So I was just like, how do we pivot? This is such part of being a director. You lean on your crew and you all talk about it and you figure it out. And so we knew that the montage stuff was going to be happening with Brianna and the cyclists. And then we knew, which actually was that part, I storyboarded out, and then Mark Roskin directed the B unit on that. And it was fantastic while I was shooting the fire truck coming in and doing the whole thing. So I had it all blocked out. I just wanted it to feel like we're giving power back, like the power is being taken back by the people. That was the biggest thing for me. And I think it's like, the universal theme of good versus evil. And the building is about to burn down and they show up and they rise to the occasion. And that theme of justice and giving the power back to people was like my main intention there. And I thought that if I blocked it in such a way that there was a real standoff, you get that sense of like, yes. And then they all take off and the crowd is just pouring in and the people are finally able to take their town back.
Yeah, yeah. I wrote down, I was like, Beth's probably a real beast at like tug of war. This has big tug of war energy and they win.
Yeah, it had big tug of war vibes for sure. Yes. Yes.
Oh man. So and also I guess getting to all your friends, right? Your co-stars, but getting to direct them, how like is anything interesting fun that you got to say to any of your co-stars in
It
this?
is so fun. You know, it's that thing where as an actor, I have to trust that when we're all in scenes together doing our thing, that is, it's just a no-brainer. You know what I mean? We've been doing it
Yeah.
for so long that it's like, I trust our energy and magic as scene partners so much that it's like, it's very freeing for me then as a director to say, okay, I know these guys know what they're doing. They have the most ownership over their characters. They know them better than anybody. And if they need me, they'll tell me. And then they're really great about receiving, like, hey, you know, blocking wise, it would be great if you could end up there or whatever. But it's very minimal in terms of like the series regulars, because I think any director will tell you when they go into a show that's been really established and, you know, it's a vibe. You're stepping into that family's vibe, right? So you let them do what they do best and just get out of the way. And they're always really down to play. So that's really fun too. I know that when I read a line of dialogue, and it's, you know, when it was the three of us in the car at the beginning of the episode, for example, I was like, I think we should be coming from like a race derby, a crash 'em up derby, and something like that. And then giving that little tidbit, and then, you know, Christian playing a different beat there because he knows he was just driving cars, or, you know, Sophie's been talking about her dating forever. And it's like they know to bring that history of the moment before and in a way that I can just trust. Um, I think I had the most fun with the guest cast in this one. I had Cedric Yarborough, I had Carl Palmer, Craig Frank. I mean, and then I had all these people in the montage to work with. Like there's a scene with the wedding, you know, when Elliot becomes the new mayor, and there's a push in on that family that just got married. Like I'm throwing that at these guys, and I'm like, you know, it says a little family. I was like, how about a little groom and a really tall model bride, and like, how can we make this fun? And I got there and they were all so game to play, you know, these performers, and they were laughing and having so much fun. And it's like, and now add a flash, a pop of a flash, like a wedding photographer's just there, and throw the rice. And like, you know, you get two takes because we're moving so fast. And so the energy, you know, you're just like, you guys down to play? Yes, yes. Okay, let's go. And, you know, from the top to the bottom, and Cedric jumping in. I mean, the first day of shooting, he had a ton of dialogue and he just rose to the occasion like a champ. And I know he was really excited to play a baddie, you know, to play the villain. And he just chewed it up. He had like the best time. It was so fun working with him.
Well, it sounds like it was a blast on film.
It
We
really
talk
was.
we talk about letting people get it out of their way and letting them do what they do. They gotta let you cook again next season. They gotta
That's
let you
right.
direct.
I'm
So,
excited. Let's go.
well, Beth, this is so wonderful. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Leverage
thank
Redemption
you.
has been delightful, and I hope it runs for even more seasons. I hope we never y'all just keep doing jobs forever.
Me too. Thank you so much. It means a lot to me. Thanks for
Thank
taking
you.
time to talk.
No problem. No problem.